Okay, so today we are going to talk about mountain building. This is going to be number 19 in your notebook. It's going to be titled Mountain Building Notes. I got this information from your textbook pages. So if there's a part that you are not sure about, you can go back to your textbook pages and review. Okay. So first we're going to talk about stress on Earth. Okay. Stress that Earth goes through. All right. Tectonic plates are constantly moving. They're moving slow but constant. Okay. So because they're moving, right, they cause stress. There's 3 types of stress. All right, so the first type of stress is called compression. Okay, compression is like squeezing. All right, and it's at a convergent boundary. Okay, so it's squeezing the rock together, pushing it towards each other. Compression. Okay, the second kind of stress is called tension. Tension is stretching and pulling apart. So this is going to change the rock. Okay, so if they're pulling apart, that means they're going in opposite directions. So this would be at a divergent boundary. Okay, the third type is called shear stress. All right, and it's more of twisting. All right, it's kind of like a side by side. And that is at a transform boundary. Okay, so because the tectonic plates and because the crust is always changing, all right, this stress is going to make faults. All right, so that's our next section. All right, so let's talk about folding. Now we'll talk about that when we get to mountains. So a fault is a break in a body of rock, like a piece of rock, not just one you would throw over water, like a tectonic plate, okay, along which it moves. Or slides. Alright, so we have 3 different kinds of faults. Okay, we have a strike slip fault, and that is where they're going to slide past each other. All right, they're going to slide past each other. Okay, also known as shear stress and a transform boundary. So the reason why we have all of these different types of things is because it depends on what you're talking about, what you're looking at when you talk about how Earth is changing. So if you're talking about something that causes the plates to move, or you're looking at what causes mountains or what causes earthquakes or what causes this change, there's different reasons. Did it slide past each other? Okay, so the next one is called a normal fault. All right, and this one is where they are going away from each other. All right, which is where tension is. And a I think I'm spelling that wrong. Divergent boundary. Okay? So the last one is called a reverse fault. So this one is actually going towards each other. So this one would be compression. And happens at a convergent boundary. Okay? Alright, so now our last part of these notes are going to be more about the mountains. Okay? So let's look at the different types of mountains. Alright, there's folded. Okay, now folded form when compression folds and it causes uplift of rock layers. Okay, so think about if you were going to have, alright, rock, and you were going to push them together. Alright, it's going to make more of this kind of effect. Alright, now, I know this doesn't look like a mountain, but this is showing you compression. So imagine if these rock layers were compressed together, and then that mountain is going to look like it has been folded lots and lots and lots of times. Okay? So the second kind is called fault block mountains. Okay? And they form when tension, let me move that up for you, I'm sorry. So fault block mountains form when tension causes blocks of rock, that's where the block comes from, okay, so fault block mountains form when tension causes block of rock to drop down. Okay, so you have rock. One is going this way, one is going this way. Okay, so you have one that drops down, so it's lower down here, and then you have one that's up. Okay, only one piece drops down. So it looks like blocks of rock, and then there's this break. That's why they're called fault block. Okay, so it's there together, and then as they separate, one falls and one stays. Okay, so the last kind of mountains are called volcanic mountains. Alright, and they form where molten rock erupts onto Earth's surface. Alright, so that is actually going to lead us into our next notes, which is going to be the next video for volcano notes. So remember that these are mountain building notes. Number 19 in your notebook, we talked about the different kinds of stress, the different kinds of faults, and the different kinds of mountains.